The killing of Sam Bokari, can you tell us anything about it? And his involvement with the NPP government or the NPFL?
I have absolutely no knowledge of the case. I thought several people came here who came here. Joe Wally came here, said they killed Bokari. Moses Black came here, said somebody else killed Bokari. How many people killed one man here? I don't know. I mean, really, I saw Bokari in Liberia. I met him. I'll tell you what happened. I'll tell you the first time I met Sam Bokari. It's good for me to tell you a story. And most people don't understand these things. I'll tell you. We went to the ECOWAS meeting, heads of state meeting in Abuja. And what happened was that the RUF had arrested about 600 to 700 United Nations officials in Sierra Leone and had them in trenches, buck naked, and had these soldiers, all the big more you see, UN guard, they had all of them in trenches there, about 700 of them were in trenches there. The RUF collected them. When we got to the ECOWAS meeting, the heads of state read a letter. The chairman, the acting chairman at the time was the host, Basanjo, and he read a letter from the Secretary General of the United Nations, Kofi Annan, requesting ECOWAS to intervene in securing the release of the 653 United Nations officers that were arrested in Sierra Leone by the RUF. From discussing from one thing to another, President Basanjo decided to set up a committee of 3 heads of state. 1, Blaise Compaoré, 2, Conte of Guinea, and he said, Charles Taylor, you will be the chairman of this committee because you are the one who know your warring people. You can talk to them better. That's what Basanjo said right in the meeting. Taylor accepted the responsibility and he asked them to do it formally in a letter, which was done before he left Abuja. We came back with a letter. I was concerned about it because when the president came back, he did not go to the legislature to seek a mandate to embark upon this exercise as requested by ECOWAS, because that would be the natural thing to do. And I was so much concerned about procedure, and as an administrator, as a politician, I believe in procedures. And so I mentioned to him, I said, I hope you will get the legislature to give you the mandate or the approval so that you can be able to use funds to lease helicopters and things to move up. He said, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to use Liberian government money to do that. I'm going to ask some of the African leaders to raise money so that we can charter helicopters to start ferrying in and out to talk to these boys. And to my greatest surprise, 2 days later, I came into the office, into President Taylor's office, and he was on the telephone. And while he was on the telephone, he was saying, look, Mosquito, I'm telling you boys to behave yourself. You have arrested the UN people. It is against international law, and you people must turn those people over. ECOWAS have asked me to negotiate, and I'm the chairman of this committee, and I'm proceeding to discuss with you. I'm trying to send a plane down to bring you people, all of you people, to come here so that we can discuss this matter and have these people released. It is not fair what you guys are doing. I heard him on the telephone. And so after he dropped the phone, I said, my brother, who are you talking to? So he said, my man, that those 10 RUF boys are talking to, they now grab those people there and blah, blah. And so it was not long after that, I saw Johnny Paul, Chroma, the Mosquito, all of them ferry over here with helicopters, and Taylor started discussion with them to secure the release of these people. After a few days, he secured the release and called President Basanjo and told him that these people have agreed to to get the people lifted. They should bring trucks and all that. The UN sent trucks in there, and these guys were all released and whatnot. And the United Nations sent a letter of commendation to ECOWAS, commending them for securing the release of these 700 United Nations soldiers. ECOWAS in turn wrote Charles Taylor a letter commending he and the member of his committee for the process in releasing the 700 soldiers under the arrest of the RUF. That is the first time I ever heard or got involved with Taylor getting involved with the RUF. There's a man who came to do a piece of job that was requested by ECOWAS. History needs to record these things because these things are written. They are not things that were just said verbally. There are letters written to the president of Liberia commending him for releasing 700 UN soldiers that were arrested by a warring faction. No one has talked about that as a credit to Liberia. All we hear is discredit. Letters were written to this effect, and so I'm saying this because when you talk about the Bokari and this and that, and none of these guys were of any threat to Mr. Taylor. He was never afraid of any of these warlords from these countries and all that. He was not a man that could be intimidated very easily. Maybe you don't even get close to him, but I mean, Taylor led war. If you bring war to him, he's ready. So I used to tell him, I said, you're a civilian administrator, leave the war business alone. But I just say that to mention that, to say that he was killing people because he was scared of them or something, that's complete misrepresentation or misinterpretation of the quality of the personality that you're talking about.